December 5th, 2009, expedition to Kilimanjaro. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning at the airport. Travelled down from Birmingham last night, straight from work, and was quite impressed with work because they put good luck posters all the way around the office, so it was really, really nice send-off. Met up with Kev at the airport and had a nice meal in the evening, nice buffet meal, loads to eat, so we're really ready to go. We're now at the airport waiting for our check-in to open, and just met up with Rob and Adam. There's 2 other guys that we're going with, and they seem really nice, and so I'll check in probably when we get to Amsterdam. Entry 2, still December the 5th, about 10 o'clock. We're at Amsterdam Airport and had a very pleasant flight over from London Heathrow, and we're now waiting for our flight to Kilimanjaro. There's several other people around with big bags like us and looking like they're going to be climbing Kilimanjaro too, so that should be really good. I will check in again when we get to Tanzania. Very excited now, and it seems that Kev and Rob and Adam and I all get on pretty well. Sunday, December the 6th. Just got up, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting upstairs on the balcony, and the sun is out, and it's really nice and hot and warm. It's still quite humid, but not unpleasantly humid. Last night we arrived in Tanzania at the airport and had a taxi put on for us that took us to the hotel. It was about 40 minutes, and it was quite interesting as the taxi had no suspension, so I had to go really slowly all the way. But it was just really bizarre to be out and actually in Tanzania and going through all the different towns, and it was really sort of eye-opening. Things to remember was when we were driving along, the moon came up over the hills in the distance, and it just looked huge and quite amazing. And Kev and I saw a massive fruit bat fly and catch an insect from a street light, and that was quite shocking because it was absolutely huge, sort of about, I don't know, a couple of feet across. So that was a bit scary, but we got here fine, and we had the guys had a few beers in the bar, and I had a couple of cokes because I'm not drinking until we get to the top. And we met a nice Tanzanian guy that tried to teach us some Tanzania. Just pause the recording there because I just speak to Adam and Rob, but just came back upstairs onto the balcony I was before, and looked up, and we can see the top of Kilimanjaro over the rooftops of the hotel, and it looks huge. It's really quite high, quite an awe to see it there, and you can see the foothills to it, and then there's loads of cloud, and then poking out top of the cloud is Kilimanjaro with lots of snow on top, so it's really good to see. Today, plan is just to sort of chill out, make sure we're all okay. I'm thinking I might go for a wander around the town and see the sights and see if I can take some photos. The hotel itself is really, really nice. There's lots of green around, and there's a nice big swimming pool. And we just had a lovely breakfast with freshly grown coffee and a really nice omelette. So I'll check out, and I'll check back in with the diary a bit later on. Hi, it's the afternoon of the 6th of December, and this morning we took a guided tour around Moshi, which is the local town, which was a real experience. First of all, we took a bus along a real bumpy road into the middle of the town, and the guide came with us, which was really quite useful because we do stick out like sore thumb, you see white guys, and so the guide just took us around and showed us some of the sights, which it was a bit interesting because, as I said, we sort of felt a bit out of place, and there was lots of people that came up to you and tried to show you pictures and things like that. So it was a bit difficult to sort of say no, and we didn't want them and things like that. But it was also really interesting, and to see all the sights of there's lots of people, lots of women carrying things on their heads, and we went to the bus station, and the bus station was really busy with lots of people getting on and off buses and travelling all around the country. And we also got taken to this bar which sold local banana beer. Now, I haven't drunk for 3 months because I'm being in preparation for the climb, so I thought, although I was planning not to drink until I got to the top of the mountain, I broke my abstinence and had a beer, and only to find out that it was 10% and tasted much like wine, or really dodgy wine in a bottle. So that was really interesting. So after that we went off and we saw lots of a market which was selling lots of fruit, and we had pineapple from a seller who cut it straight from a pineapple, and then went to some gift shops and things, and we were kind of encouraged to buy things, but we were able to say no and came back to the hotel. Got back to the hotel and had a nice dip in the pool. It's a beautiful big pool in sort of, and to tell you a bit about the hotel, it's got an open plan dining area which is outside but with a solid roof cover. All the roofs are made out of tin and painted green, and the walls are yellow, and it's really nice. A really sort of relaxed atmosphere, and there's loads and loads of staff that are really make you feel welcome and friendly. And we had a good chat with one of the guys last night who was teaching us some Tanzanian. Still Sunday the 6th of December, but I thought I'd just do a quick entry because the heavens are opened and it's absolutely chucking it down with rain. There's just water pouring everywhere. I think it's quite a normal thing here, but amazing to see some proper African rain. Great big drops falling on everything. Just 10 minutes ago we were sitting around the pool with bright sunshine, and all of a sudden the wind picks up, and you can probably hear in the background the rain. So anyway, next time, or at least tomorrow, I'll do another entry from when we're actually on the mountain. December 7th, about 11 o'clock I think, and we finally made it to the start point of the Kilimanjaro trek. We've signed in and we've all got our packs ready. We've been given packed lunch for the first day, so that's all in there. Started the climb. We're heading off in a very gentle upward slope, and it's a really well prepared path with steps and sort of gravel that's been prepared on the path. It's really well done, and we're walking pretty slowly, which is quite nice. The guide is setting the pace. We have 2 guides, one assistant guide, and it's just beautiful. We're walking through a forest, and there's creepers and little plants, and one of the guides has been telling me about the plants. There's some little pink flowers called impatiens flowers, and huge great big trees with moss growing off them, and it feels like we're properly out in the wilds now. On our group we've got a couple that live in Australia, actually from Leicester, but they live in Australia now, and we've got another 2 Scottish couple, and then there's us. Also in the forest we've seen a huge slug that was just crossing the path, and a great trail of ants, and I just took a toilet break, and I saw a little frog, and so there's lots of little wildlife. I've also been told that there's monkeys. We might see a monkey, maybe a Columbus monkey, which is black and white apparently. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff, and really not very hard going at the moment, so that's really good. I'm sure it's going to get a lot harder. Also on the ground there's
lots of dead mangoes from mango trees. Apparently you're not allowed to pick the mangoes because of the park rules, but hopefully we'll see some live mangoes on the tree. Okay, I'll check in later. We're now continuing on our trek on gentle slope upwards, and we should be there at the camp in an hour and a half, so it's quite a short day today, as we've only been walking for about an hour and a half, so about halfway. When we stopped for lunch we saw a monkey. I think it's a Columbus monkey, and it was actually quite tame, or not tame, or not too shy, so managed to get a couple of good photos of it. And a Columbus monkey is sort of black with a white front, and a very cute looking face with two beady eyes. So now we're carrying on up the trek, and I'll update later. Got a bit higher in our trip, and just stopped for a quick break. We're now in some much less dense forest with much shorter trees. So I might introduce you to the guys. This is Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hello, Adam.
This is Rob. Say hello, Rob.
Hello.
And this is Kev. Say hello, Kev.
Hello.
And that's the guys. They're knackered and tired already. You know, just started. No, everyone's doing really well. We're getting on really well. And we have a guide called Mohammed. Mohammed, say hello.
Hello.
That's Mohammed. And we'll carry on a bit later on. December 8th. Just set off on our trek further up to the Horombo huts. We just left the Mandara huts. I was very impressed with the huts. They were very luxurious to what I was expecting. They were like triangle wooden huts with tin roofs, and they even had solar panels which put lights on at night. And we had a good meal last night, and the huts were all in a clearing, and there's quite a few people climbing. Some Koreans, some Greeks, some Japanese, lots of nationalities. So we're just, as I said, we're just heading off now on our second day of climbing. It's did take us about 6 hours, and on the way we're going to go and see a crater. And last night was fine. I slept quite well. So, some other people didn't sleep quite so well. Adam was a bit cold. Kev just had trouble sleeping. But I think we're all okay this morning. We had a good breakfast with porridge and omelettes and toast with honey. So we've really been catered for well. And this morning I woke up and it was just about sunrise, and it was a beautiful sunrise, looking out over the tops of the clouds, down the valley, over the trees. It was quite stunning. So as we climb up through fairly open forest now, with lots of bracken, the colours are very green, and there's still sort of big trees with creepers hanging off them. And I'm really quite looking forward to the day. So I'll sign in probably when we have lunch, or if we see something interesting on the way. Hi there, it's 15 minutes on from my last entry, still on December 7th, and we've climbed up to a crater. I think it's where some volcanic eruption happened many years ago. But behind it we've got a beautiful view looking up to the second peak that erupted. And this is at 5,100 metres, and that looks pretty high to us. But then, behind it, we get our first view of Kilimanjaro, and from the sort of brushland, because we've exited the wood now, or the forest, and we're looking along brush ground with sort of very short shrub trees, and it goes up, and we can see the sort of desert area. Then up above that is our first view of Kilimanjaro, and it's surrounded in clouds with lots and lots of snow on it. Apparently it has been snowing up there last night, so we can see that, and it's quite an awe-inspiring view. Hi, well, it's still Tuesday and we're still walking. Currently been walking for about 6 hours. We walk at a really slow pace, which is really good. It's really important to walk really slowly so you don't get the effects of altitude. I've also been told to drink a lot, so I think I've drunk about 4.5 litres already today, and we have probably about half an hour to go till we get to the Horumbo huts, which is our next stop at 3,700 metres. I don't think we're really feeling the effects of altitude. It's maybe a bit more breathless when we're walking uphill, but we're okay. A few people have a few ailments. Adam's hips are hurting a bit. Kev says his knee is hurting a bit, but nothing's going to stop us. The scenery has changed yet again, and we have just really low shrubs now, and the path is a lot more rocky. Lunch, we had a very nice lunch. Toasted sandwiches, and fruit, and eggs, and even some fairy cakes. It's quite amazing walking at this altitude, because you're right up within the clouds. And when we were having our dinner, or our lunch, the clouds rolled in and it started raining, so we had to put on our wet gear, but that soon passed. Now there's clouds all around us, and so I hope it won't rain again. So in about half an hour we should get to Horumbo huts, as I said, and then we'll have popcorn and some tea, and then we'll probably have a snooze, and then about 6 o'clock we'll have our dinner, and then it's probably an early bed because we'll probably be quite tired by then. I'll probably check in later this evening. Hi, it's about 7 o'clock now, and we've just finished having our tea, and it's gone dark and it's pitch black now. There's clouds that pass through the camp, making it all a bit eerie, but at the moment it's clear and we can see all the way down the mountain down to Moshi, where we were a couple of days ago. Tomorrow we walk up to the Kubo huts, and it's going to be about a 7-hour walk. It's actually going to be less distance than it was today, but because we're at higher altitude, our guide says we're going to go a lot slower. We went pretty slow today, so it'll be a lot slower, I think. We had a nice tea. It's a sort of vegetable stew, but it's a lot colder up here. Yesterday at tea time we had shorts and t-shirt on, and today I've got 3 jumpers on, and it's going to get colder. At Kibo huts it's probably going to be about -5, and sometimes it gets down to 0 up here, but I don't think it's that yet. Adam's been feeling the cold quite a lot, so I think he's a bit worried, but on the whole we're all okay. Just to give you a sort of gauge on how cold it is, I can see my breath in the air. I'm feeling quite confident. Our guide reckons that we'll make it to the top, and says he thinks we're fit enough, and most of the people we've met have made it to the top, only a couple that haven't, and so yes, quite confident. Also I got a text from Helen this evening, which has really spurred me on, so that's good. Just out the corner of my eye, you can see across Tanzania there's a thunderstorm going off, and big fork lightning, like miles and miles away in the clouds, which are quite cool. Well, I better be off to bed because I've got an early start in the morning, 7 o'clock again, for breakfast. So I'm feeling quite confident for the day, and then
we'll see how we get on the big summit night, which is actually tomorrow night, which is actually quite scary. Okay, see you tomorrow. Good morning, it's Wednesday, 8th of December. It's in the morning, and I've just got out of bed, and it's the most beautiful sunrise. Sun's just peeked up over the clouds, and we're up above all the clouds, looking down the side of the mountain, over the sort of shrubby land, and there's the trees with the big thick leaves, sort of like almost like elephant legs with sort of leaves on top. And then way down in the bottom of the mountain, you can just see under the clouds towards Moshi, where we were before. It's a real magical feeling. It's really sort of fresh this morning, the warmth of the sun, and then behind us, just turned around, the clouds have just moved across, and Kilimanjaro peak is just there right behind us. Doesn't look too far away now. By the end of today, we should be at the bottom of the last stretch, which is really steep, but really looking forward to it now. Really excited. And there's quite a lot of activity at this camp, because we stay at this camp twice. On this time going up, then we'll go up to Kibo, which is the next camp up, and then we'll summit tonight. Oh, blimey, tonight, yes, we go for the summit tonight. We head off about 11 o'clock, and then come back, and we come all the way back to this camp. So it's like a 15-hour walk, and we'll be back at this camp after 15 hours. There's quite a lot of activity going on because of all the people and all the porters. And people get up at different times. We're supposed to get up at 7, but it's just probably about 6:15 here now, and everyone else is in bed. So I'll try and update after breakfast. Just about set off on our trek on day December 8th of Wednesday. This is Adam. Adam, how are you feeling?
Very nervous. Not tired. Feel very relaxed but nervous. Anxious. Excited. Very warm compared to yesterday. But I'm amongst friends, so if I don't get up there.
What do you mean don't get up there? You're going to get up there. You're going to get up there. Adam's feeling a bit down this morning, we reckon, so we've got to give him some encouragement. So anyway,
you can do it.
Out till later. Okay, we've just come up and come over a ridge, and we can see the main peak up above us. And I'm here with our main guide, Mohammed.
Yes, my name is Mohammed. I'm a chief guide.
And have you got a family?
Yeah, no.
No family?
No family.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
26. And do you like being a guide?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I like it.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So that's Mohammed, our main guide. Around us, we have all the taller plants are gone. It's just like tiny shrubs with like little yellow flowers on. And
Down to another beer.
yeah, go on then, cheers. Yeah. And we're coming up to the last watering point on the way. We've just come over a ridge, and we can see our destination. It's a long, long way up there, and it's quite scary. From now on today, we're walking through the desert. It's going to be relatively flat or gentle uphill until the last bit, when it's a steep uphill bit, and then tomorrow steep up right to the top, and round the crater to the final point. Still quite a jovial spirit as you experienced just then, and yeah, that's it really.
Lunchtime on December the 8th, up Kilimanjaro, and we're now probably at 4,300 metres, or 4,400 metres, something like that, and we're just beginning to feel the first bits of altitude. Myself, I'm feeling quite tired and got a little bit of a headache coming on. Adam had a bit of a tight chest, so we're just going to take it real slow this afternoon, see how we get on. And we are sat in some boulders at the edge of the desert, and within the boulders, like next to the living within the boulders, are these tiny little mice, and there's lots of them about that come and eat your food, and they're stripy mice, and you might be able to hear in the background there's some ravens, I think they are, with white stripe on the back of their neck. I think they're here to eat the mice. It's got a bit colder now, we stopped, so I think we're going to head off now and hopefully get to the camp soon.
So we're finally at Kilbo Huts at a height of 4,720 metres, and boy does it feel high. You just have to walk 5 metres and you're panting away. The last bit from lunch all the way up through the desert and through into rocky bits was really tough going. Literally putting just one foot in front of the other, a couple of steps, and the steps just like a foot long. And then as we were going along, it started to rain. It wasn't much fun, so we had to change into our wet weather gear. Then it started to snow, which really wasn't much fun at all. Luckily I had my hood up and had my sunglasses on and just concentrating on the person in front, putting one step in front of the other. But we got here. Poor Adam's feeling really emotional. He kind of scared himself today, I think. He's thinking about his wife and his family. Lunchtime, I had a bit of a headache. I took an ibuprofen just to make myself feel a little bit better, and I'm glad I did, because I do feel a lot better. I feel a bit thick-headed at the moment, but apart from that I'm okay. The other thing was, walking through the snowstorm, I didn't have my proper gloves with me, I just had my cycling gloves, so my fingers absolutely froze. But now we're at Kilbo Huts, and we're staying in a dorm kind of room with like about 17 beds, or bunk beds, and it's a stone building this time. And it's got a good view down the valley. Tomorrow though, I'm just looking where we got to walk, and it goes straight uphill, straight up. But I think if we just put one foot in front of the other, we'll make it. Yeah, we'll make it. It's 5 PM and we just had our tea or our dinner, and had a couple of hours sleep in the afternoon. Now I've gone straight back to bed. For one reason, we need to get some sleep because we set off at 12 o'clock tonight. But another reason, it's so cold outside. Well, out your sleeping bag, there's not much point in being out of it. So we're all snuggled up in our sleeping bags, ready for the big day tomorrow. Thursday night, about 1 o'clock in the morning, we're on our climb, just set off, and it's hard going. We're heading up, zigzagging along a path, and probably about 4,900 now. It's cold, it's dark, and on walk all I can see is the person in front of me. About 10 minutes ago we stopped because Adam was feeling ill and I think I overheated. I felt really faint, that was scary. So we're going to head on now, so I'll update later. Okay, we're halfway up to Gilman's Point, so that makes us about 5,400, 300 metres. And oh boy am I out of breath. We stopped for a quick rest. And oh man, can't believe it. Adam, we were about 200 metres up from where I did my last trip, my last one of these. And he suddenly started to feel faint, and then he just collapsed, and so we waited with him. He thought he'd be okay because I felt faint earlier on, and just I was overheated and he was hot. But he tried getting back up to his feet and couldn't get back up by himself. So the guy said that's it, time he went that down. And Rob's gone with him. So he made a pact that they're going to do it together. So we've lost them. 50% success rate, because I'm definitely going to make it. And I'm sure Kev's definitely going to make it too. The ground that we're walking on now is completely frozen. I haven't quite reached the snow line, although it's been snowing like lower down. Proper snow line where it doesn't melt, it's a bit higher up. Kev, how are you feeling?
Pretty tired, pretty out of breath, it's been a hard slog. Bit of a headache, I need to take some pills, and I'll be alright.
We will survive. Next stop, Gilman's Point, I think. So we're halfway up to that. Gonna do it. I did it. I actually remember I did it. Since last one, I climbed up to Gilman's Point. Oh, it was just so hard. It was dark all the way. We got up there just before sunset. Oh. And then we had to walk 250 metres up, a load of miles, I don't know how far, it was miles. Oh, we made it, and I feel really quite emotional. Thank you to all those people who sponsored me, to my lovely wife, to all my family, to Rob and Adam who didn't make it up. Oh man, it's so good to be out there. So good to actually make it, fulfill our task. Kev's just coming up there, went on a bit ahead, and he's just coming, he's doing so well. He's so knackered. I can't believe it. We're actually here, it's just the most beautiful view. To my left, looks down the valley to where we came from. It's like a jagged rocks all the way along, up to where we are. To the right, there's a huge glacier, must be about 100 metres tall, and then Mount Meru coming through the clouds in the distance in the west. Oh, it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. Here comes Kev, he's done so well. Right, Kev, made it, mate, made it.
Okay, there we go, that's we're sitting at Gilman's Point.
There you go, you see? 5,681 metres. This is the second time we've been here. We walked all the way along the ridge here. You can see the top of the mountains over there. See if I can zoom in. About there. Sam's pretty shattered now. I'm pretty shattered now. That's Mohammed. He was the saviour. He was the one who got us to the top. He was a special man. Down there you can see the desert and some clouds. Isn't that wonderful? There's a big mountain over there. I don't remember the name. Sorry. I'm too tired to even think about it. And over there is Kenya. And that'll do me because I'm shattered.
Well, it's lunchtime on Thursday, December the 10th, we think, and we've got back from our mammoth climb, from which me and Kev managed to get to the top. I didn't do any other recordings on all the way back. It took us 3 hours to get back. I was just too tired. I couldn't do anything else but put one foot in front of the other. For quite a few bits, couldn't do that at all. Got back to Gilman's Point and I had a huge headache. I think that's because of the altitude, and combined with me not drinking much, because my camelback froze over. But we came down back the way we came, but this time the gravel or scree that we'd climbed up on the way up had melted, so it wasn't frozen anymore, and we could come down pretty quick. Unfortunately, on the way down we saw someone had disconnected their leg or their hip or something, but I think they were being well looked after. And it was a bit hard on Kev because his knee is playing up, but eventually after about 3 hours we finally got back to the cabin we were in on last night. As you can tell, I'm a bit confused with days because we walked all during the night last night. Anyway, with Kev has just said it was the worst experience of his life, and well, to tell the truth, I think it was the hardest rather than the worst. That's what he means. So it was just, on the way up was just phenomenally bad. It was just, you'd get to a point where you thought you'd go to the top and look up, and it went on for miles and miles, and it just got steeper and steeper and steeper. Anyway, we finally got back down to our hut, and we had about an hour and a half skip. And now we're about to have a lunch, and we've got to walk on down to the Horumbo huts, which we were at 2 days ago. Yesterday? Last night? Oh, we don't know. Anyway, that's for the rest of the day. I really don't feel like walking at all, ever. Apparently it's 11.5 kilometres. Maybe I can jog it like I was doing in my training, and it only takes 50 minutes. Anyhow, I'll check in probably on the way back. Hi, we're halfway through our walk back to the Horumbo huts. Me and Kev are pretty knackered. I think Kev's just an autopilot. But not far to go now, and it seems good, well dressed. 1 hour's sleep from 12 o'clock isn't quite enough. Keep thinking back to last night, and it all seems a bit like a dream, to tell the truth. I can't believe I've actually got up to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. Really pleased with myself. Real struggle, really hard work. but I got there. Kev got there too. 50%, that's pretty good. Jumbo. Horses seem to be happy today as they're all going downhill. When they're going uphill they're less chatty. Okay, I'll sign out. Jumbo. Incidentally, Jumbo is hello in Swahili. They speak here in Tanzania. Jumbo. Well, it's the end of a crazy day. I'm not really sure what time it is or really what day it is. From being woken up 12 o'clock last night. Well, the sun's beginning to set and it's really nice and warm. And I'm standing looking out over towards Moshi from the Horombo huts, and there's not very many clouds now, so it's lovely. You can see on my left, you can see down to the crater which we went to on the second day, and see the route that we took all the way up on the second day, and then panning across from left to right, so from east to west, looking south, we've got some mountain ranges in the far distance and a lake. I wish my knowledge of geography was a bit better. And then all the way around to the sunset in the west, and which just to the north of that is Mount Kilimanjaro, which I can't quite believe I was at this morning. It looks so far away. Snow's on top, quite thick, and it's nice and clear up there. I can see almost the Gilman Point that we went up, and then we walked round to the highest point. Well, I'll sign out and probably update tomorrow morning when we're on our way back down to Miranda Huts, which we visited on our first night. Go straight through those and straight down to the minibus that should be waiting for us down there, so it's probably a 6-hour walk again tomorrow. Quite a long way. Yeah, well, good night.
Last day of our hike up Kilimanjaro, and on our way down from Horombo Huts back down to Marangu Gate. Just had a really nice breakfast with fresh mango and fresh pineapple. And the sunrise this morning was beautiful. Clouds all low over Moshi, and the sun rose and showed the tops of the clouds. It's really nice to be up above all the clouds. It makes you feel really good. I'll update later. Lunchtime, day 5, and it's Friday, and we've just walked from Horombo Huts down to Mandara Huts, and it was a lovely walk. Actually, I really enjoyed it. Because we weren't concentrating on walking uphill, we were able to take a bit more of a look around and see the plants and the flora and fauna, and really interesting to see the changes in landscape, right from virtually no vegetation down as you go further down, the trees and plants get higher and taller, and now we're back down in the forest, and on the way down we saw some brightly coloured birds with like red fronts and long beaks, and we passed a bee's nest, and we're now sitting in a meadow at the Mandara Huts, and there's lots of flowers around and lots of bees pollinating the flowers. Also on the way saw different kinds of birds, lots of different bird song, little birds with long beaks eating or drinking nectar out of the plant called the hot poker plant, which basically looks like a hot poker. And
yeah, so we really enjoyed the walk. We're now so low down that we can't see the peak anymore. That's quite a good thing, because I've had enough of Kili. Okay, going to have some lunch, so I'll sign in later. So we did it. We're back down at the Mangura Gate. What's this place called? Marangu Gate, sorry. And last bit, walking through the forest. We didn't see any particular animals, saw a few birds and some exotic flowers and stuff. We're just now enjoying a nice cold Sprite before we head off to get the bus and go home. So yeah, really, really proud of ourselves. December 12th, it's evening. Haven't done a diary entry since this morning when I looked up and saw the mountain overlooking the hotel. It's been a good day today, just pure relaxation. Been around the pool, just chilling out. I did go out this morning and go for a short walk in the neighbourhood. Just across, there's a railway track that runs in front of the hotel. I just went and had a look there and took some photos and went. Yeah, it was good. And then this afternoon, me and Adam and Rob ventured out again, and there's a watering hole or a spring near the hotel, so we walked to, and this spring basically feeds all the rice fields that are around here. But when we got there was a whole group of kids, about 5 or 6 years old, all playing in this spring, doing somersaults into it. And when I took photos of them, they all really wanted to look at the photos, and thought it was absolutely hilariously funny when they looked at the photos. And so it was really good fun, and they were just having fun, and yeah, it was just really rewarding to sort of play with them. We're on a bit of downer now this evening because Adam's just left for the airport. He's got a flight tonight, gets him back into UK tomorrow morning. So a bit hard on Rob as well, because Bob's out here for another week. I think he's getting a bit homesick to see Adam go. It's difficult, but we'll go on with it. We've had two beers tonight, I'm sure we'll be fine. A nice touch was Adam's left me a postcard just sort of saying cheers and thanks for the trip and all that kind of stuff, so it was a nice touch by him, I thought. Anyway, that's my diary for today. I'll probably sign in, do another diary entry tomorrow. Again, we're not planning to do anything. We might go out and do a trip, but we're running a bit short of cash, so probably just relax by the pool again. It's nice to relax in the sunshine in the middle of December. So, speak to you for tomorrow. Bye. December 13th, it's a Sunday. Last night is tonight. So today I decided to take a bicycle from that I rented off the hotel and go for a cycle ride, which was a fantastic idea. I was feeling a bit sort of cooped up in the hotel because it's all sort of just tourists and not seeing any of proper Tanzania. So instead of turning left towards Moshi, I turned right and headed off into the countryside. It's beautiful countryside. First of all, I came to paddy fields, so all flooded and all with people wading around in it, planting and picking rice. There's lots of little houses, sort of mud houses and with tin roofs, etc., all the way up the road, and there's just all the time there's tons of people walking around and just going around their business. There's lots of people on bicycles carrying lots of loads on the back of the bicycles, and lots of bikes sort of nipping around, and the odd jeep here and there, and a bus. further on there was a sort of a like the water plant, I think, and this all runs next to a train track that runs in front of the hotel and all the way into Moshi for the I think it's for the beer factory, like that makes the Kilimanjaro beer, and also for the coffee factory. But it got eventful because I got to the end of the road where the road turns off away from the railway track, and my pedal fell off the bike. Just completely fell off. I couldn't put it back on at all, and this was about 3.5 miles, 4 miles up the road. So instead of having to being able to bike my bike back, I had to push my bike back, which was fine, but a bit more intimidating. One of the really lovely things about riding the bike is you feel sort of safe. It's probably just me being overcautious because I'm in a foreign country, but I do feel quite conscious if I'm walking along and people come up to you, and I'm overcautious, I think. But on a bike you can just cycle along and people wave, and there's lots of little kids sort of waiting at bus stops and things like that, and they all wave to you and shout welcome, and lots of the men and the women are all big smiles and welcome to Tanzania, all that kind of thing. So that's really nice, a really good experience. I also had I went past a house and there was a girl sitting on the steps outside the house, and she jumped on a bike and cycled over to me. This was before my pedal fell off, and she just came cycling up, and me being cautious, I thought, oh, what's going on here? But she just cycled along next to me and asked me what my name was, and said that she living in the little village that she lives in, and she likes the sun. And she asked me where I was from and what my name was and things like that. And it's just really nice to see, and to see a bit of proper Tanzania. After my pedal fell off, I mean a tourist on a bike, first of all, it's quite funny, but a tourist pushing a broken bike is absolutely hilarious. So walking all the way back, everyone was sort of laughing and pointing, but in a friendly way. Eventually, I've just got back, and so I think I might have a dip in the pool and drink some water because I am hot. Well, catch up later. December 14th, right at the end of our trip to Tanzania. I'm at the airport with Kev, and just spent the day relaxing by the pool and generally not doing much at all. The transfer went dead easy over here, although now we're 3 hours early for the flight, so got a long wait. I think it's probably going to be my last entry for the diary, so I wanted to sort of round up what we'd done on the trip, and my highlights and the lowlights and all that kind of stuff. Well, one clear highlight, of course, was reaching the top of Kilimanjaro, which was just amazing. Best feeling ever after exhaustion and the hardness of getting up there. It was just amazing to get there. Lowlights, and then another clear one there was Adam obviously not making it, and Rob going down with Adam on the last night, on the summit night, which it was really upsetting even. And other highlights, I really enjoyed going down to the spring where the kids were playing and taking photos of the kids. It was just really nice, and the bike ride that I took yesterday, although my pedal broke and that wasn't that great, but it was really nice to get out in the countryside and see some proper Tanzanian people and see how friendly they were and welcoming to their country. That's about it really. Had just the most amazing time, and I hope you enjoyed listening to my diary. Cheers.